welcome to the final installment of the Art of Computer Coding. Wow, this is already video 6 and the final. So last but not least, I will be discussing the two different quote-unquote codes of HTML and CSS. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, all three together, form the interactive part of a website that we know today when we think of a website. These three languages are usually so seamlessly intertwined, the average Joe who is just going on a website would not even know that it's taking more than one type of code to run a website. I will go into more detail in a moment, but just to basically say, when the World Wide Web was first created, there was no other code on how to structure websites, how to create a website. It was purely data holding. And of course, since then, I can only assume that there are so many other structural codes and hypertext formats for websites to be created with now. If you want to go into the origins of HTML, believe it or not, it's also tied to the origin of the internet. In 1980, Tim Berners-Lee, who was a physicist working at CERN in Europe, wanted to create a hypertext system that could distribute data amongst the employees of CERN. So through that development, the proposal he actually gave CERN would be the creation of the World Wide Web. Soon following the introduction of the internet, of course, HTML followed. For if you have a place to keep websites, you're going to need a way to format them and to have a set document type for them, with all the new browsers that were forming and becoming available, such as Netscape, for example. During the 1990s tech boom, over the course of at least 8 years or so, HTML was under constant revision and standardization from different groups, and it just kind of seemed to die out after 1999. Well, at least the interest in it anyway. Apple, Mozilla, and Opera had decided to create a new organization that would be a type of an open consortium to allow HTML to be enhanced once more, which it was in 2008 with HTML5. But another group in the 90s, the W3C, they had created a separate code that was a mashup between XML and HTML. They wanted the XML functions to create more flexibility in the HTML code to allow it to be used over various formats of web browsers, etc., and to allow the programmer to have a higher dose of creative freedom. CSS and other styling sheet formats, I like to refer to them as the makeup artists of the internet. And essentially they really kind of are. HTML may house the data, but what's going to make it look nice? What's going to not have it show up as one big block of text on a web page that you will stare at and wonder, what am I looking at? That's what CSS and other style sheets do. So not only is it to the benefit of the user, but it will also lay out the data more smoothly for the software developers and the website creators. CSS and HTML always seem to be paired together. And in my research, I also finally learned why. The creators of CSS and HTML were both co-workers at CERN. So, of course, when the cascading style sheets was created after HTML was, what other type of website structure would the creator test it out with but HTML. So they've pretty much turned into the internet's bread and butter in a way. Of course, since then, many other style sheets have been created. I'm sure there is a plethora. I have not delved too far into it. I've just kind of stuck my toes into the very shallow end of HTML and CSS education. Here are the sources I used in learning about HTML and CSS. I really enjoyed the articles for CSS. They were very informative and not swamped with computer and IT jargon. They were very much made with the common person in mind, which I definitely appreciate. Thank you again so much for watching. Wow, this is, again, the last video, and honestly, it went by faster than I thought it would. I really did enjoy making these, so please like, subscribe to the channel, and other tutorials will be made for different age groups as the year goes on, either by myself or other librarians. Thank you so much again, and have a good rest of your day.